So day five, this is not it. Day five was supposed to be a day at sea, and well, there I got sick. On day four at lunch, I heard an announcement from the captain that several passengers were experiencing gastrointestinal issues and that they were going to be increasing, sanitizing around the ship. And, I just thought, okay, something to be aware of, I'm always very diligent washing my hands and didn't think anything of it. And, just was fine. And around 1 o'clock in the morning, woke up and it was not fun. It was about, I want to say 8 hours. For the first 3 hours were the most. First 3 hours, I really just didn't get a break. My son did not wake up, but my husband, was there to help me. And thankfully, the first 3 hours were the worst. Kind of was drinking water at that point and just couldn't even hold down water. And then he had gotten down and he'd gotten some Dramamine and some Alka-Seltzer and some antacids. And I took the Alka-Seltzer, couldn't hold that down. Took the Dramamine and that helped me sleep for a little bit. But again, couldn't hold anything down. And then I took the antacids, but I think at that point it had kind of run its course. So it took about 8 hours. It was a long time. But at one point I did call medical, but they said that, they're open from 8 to 11. What I learned later is that I could have called guest services and they would have patched us through to medical. But I didn't do that because we didn't know. We didn't know at that point. And then by the time they were open, I was already kind of past the worst of it. So I felt like, okay, I'm just gonna stay in bed. So I never sought medical treatment. However, I did let them know because I knew that they were trying to keep track. We didn't know the procedures. So I called guest services for two reasons, to let them know. And then also we had reservations for the North Star, which were, because it was a sea day, was paid, that we were paying $19 a piece. So I called them and said, I got the GI issues, the stomach bug that's going around. And even though it was the same day and within 24 hours, they went ahead and canceled and refunded. So we were able to cancel that, which was great. And, that was really gracious of them because they didn't have to, because technically we were past the cancellation. They patched me through to the nurse at that point, asked me my symptoms, and I guess they were trying to confirm that it wasn't COVID and that it was the GI issues. And I said, I hadn't thrown up in a little bit. And they said, okay, just call us if anything changes. And they gave me a list of symptoms that if you have this, this, or this, let us know as soon as possible. So, but they didn't isolate me. They didn't tell me I needed to be isolated. Now I did isolate myself because I just didn't go anywhere. I stayed in bed. I did not leave the cabin, I guess, for a good 36 hours. I came in on Wednesday night and I didn't leave until Friday morning. So it was probably 32 to 36 hours that I did not leave my cabin, but no one else in the cabin. My son and my husband were not. My husband, stayed with me the whole time. And my son, we watched movies. They had, it was a sea day. They had given, because if we missed the port, they had done free movies. So we watched Encanto. We watched some movies throughout the day and I tried to sleep as much as I could. So what I did learn is that some people did have to go to the infirmary and get IVs. But if you went, I don't know if you got an IV, if they charged you for that, but people that did seek medical treatment, they were not charged for it because it was something that was widespread on the ship. They weren't charged for it. A couple people had to be picked up in a wheelchair. They were so weak. And I was weak. I was really weak and I didn't eat. That was Wednesday night. So my first real meal was kind of on Sunday, which is today. And I kind of ate a little bit here and there, but I really didn't eat anything real until Sunday. So it took a couple days for my stomach to adjust, but it was 24 hours and I was able to enjoy Coco Cay as much as possible. So I was able to enjoy Coco Cay and go to the water park. It was a struggle. It was cold. My husband kind of joked that, you know, I was going to be trading in a stomach bug for pneumonia because of the wind. But I wanted to do it for my son and make the most of the day. But again, so people that did go to the infirmary were not charged. Now I don't know, there were a couple people that needed to get IVs. I don't know if they were charged for that. But the people that did seek medical treatment and got, they were doing complimentary consultations because it was something that was known that was going around the ship. And then those people, if you sought medical treatment, you were isolated for 24 hours and had to pass 2 COVID tests to be released from isolation. But no one else in your cabin was. So it was just the person that was sick, not the other people in the stateroom. So I thought that was interesting. And so that's just, you know, you couldn't leave the ship. So there was one person that wasn't able to leave the ship until like 3 o'clock on Coco Cay. So she was able to basically get off of Coco Cay, walk around, and then get back on the ship because all aboard was 4:30. So that was kind of unfortunate for you. But they did, like I said, captain did announce it and did post. There was a letter that came in our staterooms as well, telling us about it too. Now the letter we got after I was sick, but they had made an announcement. So I had heard the announcement, but you know, it was unfortunate. I'm so thankful that my husband and son didn't get it. The only thing I can think of is the day of, which was Wednesday, I had gone to the Windjammer, which I normally did. And I always got food and brought it down to my son, and brought it down for, you know, breakfast. And that's kind of what I did. And that day at lunch, I had a salad. I ate it up at the Windjammer, and then I got my son's lunch. And that's the only thing I can think of is that, you know, those types of things tend to travel, you know, in like lettuce and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I can think of. But I was always in the Windjammer, but like I said, they didn't get it, which I was very thankful. But I did notice, thinking back on it, Wednesday night, I wasn't hungry. And we skipped dinner and I just went to the Diamond Lounge and had, you know, some finger foods. I wasn't really hungry. And then looking at our pictures, which was after I was sick, the last night, I realized, wow, my stomach was bloated. I was bloated. I look like I'm in the beginning stages of pregnancy. And while I don't necessarily have a flat stomach, I like to think my stomach's not that bloated normally. So, and even my husband said, yeah, I noticed it that night, but I wasn't going to tell you anything. So, which was probably smart on his part, but I was definitely some signs that I was about to get sick. So, lesson learned as far as things to travel with is I will always now travel with, you know, Zofran. We have Zofran at home. We keep it on, you know, we keep it in our medicine cabinet. I will have Zofran and I will make sure I have all those things. You know, I travel with NyQuil and Dayquil and ibuprofen and Tylenol and all of that. But I didn't think about getting, you know, we're so programmed right now to think about COVID. I haven't been thinking about, you know, the typical gastrointestinal. So it wasn't norovirus. Some people were saying it was norovirus. It was not norovirus. Norovirus is much more intense. I personally never have it, but my brother did get it and it lasted several days. So norovirus is much more brutal. And I did confirm with the guest services and the medical crew that it was not noro when I spoke to them. So it was just a stomach bug. It was a stomach bug that was highly contagious going around. A lot of people got it. A lot of people in our group got it. And I'm just thankful that I got it on the C-Day. It really would have been unfortunate to get it on Coco Cay if we had missed it. So I'm glad that it happened on the day that really was, it was just a sea day. And while I would have loved to have spent another day at sea, and I missed lobster night, which really sucked, and missed the last formal night, and I have a really cute dress that I was ready to wear. But, you know, of all the nights, it was probably better that I missed that night. So, you know, but lesson learned, I will always travel with Zofran from now on. And I would say I would be more diligent washing my hands and everything, but I really was. So I think probably I would bring more. I was relying on the hand sanitizers of the ship, and they really weren't as prevalent on the ship as they had been on the Freedom, because I think things have kind of laxed a little bit. And a lot of times the hand sanitizers were empty when I went to get them. So you kind of do it and they were already empty and they hadn't been refilled. So I think I would probably travel with my own hand sanitizer next time. I think that's something where I was doing that for a while and I just forgot to pack it because, you know, it was there. So some things that I've learned, but we've cruised a lot, and this is the first time this has happened. I have been cruising, I want to say my first cruise was maybe 1999, and you know, it's 23 years that I've been cruising now. Not every year, but that was my very first cruise, and I've cruised a lot, and this is the first time I've ever gotten sick like this. So it is what it is, but that is why this is a day lost at sea, because it was pretty much lost, which again, unfortunate. But of all the days that have to happen, you know, I'm kind of glad it happened that day, or maybe the day before. But you know, I didn't miss out on a port. I didn't miss out on Coco Cay. My son was fine. Like, he was able to still go to the kids club, which we called again. We weren't sure, and you know, they didn't tell us he was in isolation, so he was able to go to the kids club. And it seemed to travel more. I did hear of a few kids getting it, but they were under 5, so I didn't hear of any kids in the kids club getting it. It was mostly adults that were getting it. So that is my story of getting sick at sea. Don't recommend it, but what to do. And again, my concern also was going to the medical infirmary, is how much is this going to cost us? But you know, I think again, a lesson learned, we will probably travel with insurance, and because we're local, we tend not to do with insurance. So I think I'm gonna probably research that more. And you know, but again, from what I heard, that at least, I don't know, I can't confirm if you had to receive an IV, but those who did receive medical treatment, you know, basic medical treatment, were not charged by Royal Caribbean. So that's all I can tell you. But I will be back with day 6, which is going to be Coco Cay, where we go to the Thrill Water Park. This is past tense because we're already back home. But we go to Coco Cay and we do the Thrill Park and an Oasis Lagoon cabana, which was interesting and not what I expected. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.